William Shakespeare wrote, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players," in his romantic comedy, As You Like It. And in this case, the stage is on the Boston Common, and the players are from the Commonwealth Shakespeare Company. Joining me today are Joshua Olumide and Maurice Emmanuel Parent, two of the actors, two of the players in this summer's free Shakespeare on the Common. How are you both today?
Excellent. Thank you for having us.
So, Maurice, not everybody knows this Shakespearean story, so give us a quick synopsis, if you would.
Sure. There are two dukes. They are brothers. There's Duke Frederick and Duke Senior. Duke Frederick ousts Duke Senior, sends him to the forest, so he and some of his crew go live in the forest, and they have this whole almost like bohemian existence where there's no hierarchy. Everyone's loving and love nature. But then back when in the court where he was just exiled, is very totalitarian, very strict. So his niece, who was the daughter of the exiled duke, Rosalind, is banished. So then she and her cousin flee to find her father. And then there are the other side.
Shakespeare always had such juicy plots.
I was like, which plot do I pick? I'll do plot one.
There's always like some crazy tangled story. Joshua, you're a relatively recent Boston transplant, but you've been busy around Boston. You've been in the UFOT Family Cycle in the Grove at the Huntington, and 4 different characters in Speakeasy production of Jaja's African Hair Braiding. I saw you in both of those. Tell us about your character Oliver in As You Like It.
Oliver is, it's funny in Shakespeare, you see kind of how he incorporates different characters in different plays of his canon. So kind of Oliver, I see some Leontes in him, even some Iago, but Oliver has a bit of an arc, an interesting arc. He starts off very full of hatred, and something within him just does not like his brother Orlando. And then you see him towards the end of the play kind of enter the forest and get transfixed, kind of a bit of a love potion that Puck puts on the players in Midsummer. And so he ends up kind of, wanting to leave the civilization that he got banished from. And he ends up, finding love there and being transformed.
I forget, that was an essential part of the plot. One was, it's ultimately a love story. It's a love story about young people who fall, who meet, who are kind of like puppy love at first sight. And it really does what Shakespeare does so well, which is talk to essential human things that we all know. We all know what it is to see someone and just be smitten with them. So his brother Orlando falls for Rosalind, his exiled niece, and then the show mostly follows their courtship.
Okay, now, Shakespeare on the Common is a beloved tradition here in Boston, and I'd like to ask Joshua, what are you doing in this production to ensure that it's inclusive for all to enjoy?
Yes, so some really key stuff. We have open captions at every performance. There are 2 big screens on each side of the stage that shows the text, which I had a friend come to the show last year, and he said it was very, very helpful to have the text while the actors are performing on stage.
Because sometimes Shakespeare's hard to catch if you're not used to the cadence and reading Shakespeare.
Yes, yes, very much so. And so the descriptions definitely help with that. Yeah, and it's lovely to have. Also, we have kind of descriptions of the actions for some impaired, audio impaired individuals.
And they also have this new thing that some theaters have been doing, tactile tours, I believe they're called, where before the show, folks who are hard of sight can actually feel the set and feel the props to know they are.
Make it an immersive experience for everyone. And the free aspect of these performances also makes it accessible to the whole community. How do the themes of finding and building community also play into As You Like It?
I love that question. So I'm actually playing both dukes. When you ask me the plot, of course I start with the characters I'm playing. Look at that, I'm such an actor. But sort of each duke represents 2 different ways to build community. One is very hierarchical, very strict, very ordered, and there's lots of punishment and rules. If you break those rules, you are punished and exiled, as happens to Rosalind. Then there's the other duke who builds a much more like I said, a bohemian, shared experience, sharing of resources, sharing of the nature, and understanding one's place not only in community with other people, but in community in nature and your environment.
Now, Maurice, you're also the producing artistic director of the Front Porch Arts Collaborative, yes, which has brought us many great productions throughout the years. Talk to us briefly about the federal government's NEA cuts and cuts in the arts. How does that impact your organization, and what are you doing to fight back?
Well, I actually testified last week in front of the Massachusetts House Committee on Federal Funding and Accountability, and I was part of many organizations that had funding cut. And so, number one, the way we're fighting back is making sure people know. People know that, we had $65,000 cut. MassMoCA had something like $500 million cut. Large organizations had more cut. And what's more chilling than the actual loss of funds is the justifications for losing the funds. They're saying our work no longer serves the interests of America. And I'm a proud American, I'm a proud Black American, and that's what Front Porch does. We talk about the beauty of the African diaspora in community where we are. We are in Boston. We love being a part of the Boston fabric. Everyone is welcome to come see our work. We are part of it's the American story to welcome people in and to build community with them. So number one is letting people know. Number two, letting people know why they justified those cuts.
And for people that love the arts and the theater, let me say, from Washington, D.C. to the communities in this city, it's a disconnect.
Yeah, it really is. I would have to say, part of my testimony was saying I'm a transplant. I've been here just over 20 years. And I still say many times, I am proud to be a Massachusetts resident. And I'm not just saying that because I run a nonprofit. I really mean that because once we announced the loss, we had an outpouring of support from the community, like local folks, and we were able to raise just under half of the lost funds. Not enough to make up for the loss, but it shows that our work does matter for the people who live here.
And people want it. People want it. All right, Maurice, Joshua, thank you both for being here. All right, so As You Like It is going to be on the Boston Common through August 10th. And all the performances, again, are free on the Boston Common. And Boston Landmarks Orchestra has several upcoming performances this season. Check out our website, wcvb.com/cityline, for a link to their calendar. And the Boston Lyric Opera presents a range of events in August, including a free community concert on the Mobile Street Stage in South Boston on August 20th.